Even as government intensifies its relief efforts for thousands of our people who are victims of Typhoon Yolanda, this early, the National Economic Development Authority is already planning the future of the devastated areas in eastern Visayas. It is projected to be a massive plan. How much will it cost? Tonight, we also ask the impact of the typhoon to the economy. And joining us tonight is Rosemarie Edillon, Assistant Director of the General Planning of NEDA. Good evening, ma'am, and welcome to NewsLife.
Good evening.
Ma'am, just to start us off, how long will the relief efforts take place given the magnitude of the disaster to our people in eastern Visayas, since the top priority of the government is to save lives?
We will probably need to continue the relief efforts until we have started the reconstruction. But the workfare programs that will be implemented to be spearheaded by the Department of Labor and Employment can actually begin implementation by next week. So we're thinking the relief operations could probably last until a month, or probably until the end, for those that were really devastated by the typhoon.
Now, you said you've started planning for the recovery and reconstruction. What are the priorities and what will it cost?
We have not yet gotten to the cost, but in terms of priority, the first thing that we need to do is make sure that there's connectivity between this affected areas and the rest of the country. So we're talking about the gateways, the ports, the airports, the highways, and then of course the communication. And then government has to resume operations, so the public facilities has to be in place. Actually, the government center in Tacloban has been devastated because it was really located along the beach, along the seaside. And so many government offices are already thinking of setting up satellite offices just so that government operations can still continue.
Ma'am, an interagency task force has been created. Now, which agencies are helping create this plan?
This was actually under the instruction of the Economic Development Cluster, because as you know, the one in charge of the relief are more of the Human Development and Poverty Reduction Cluster headed by the DSWD. So for the Economic Development Cluster, what did was to instruct the coming up with the preparation of this plan. So the DPWH is there, DTI is there, because that's important to be able to revive the economic activity in the area. The DOT, the tourism, is there because there's still a lot of tourism sites in the area actually. And then of course the NEDA, it's being shared. The Department of Finance is also there.
Ma'am, will government have sufficient resources for the implementation? How much time will be needed for the plan to be completed and for implementation to take place?
We are being given a month actually to come up with a plan, and then the implementation has to start right away. The good thing is, since we have been growing very fast this past few quarters, and this past 2 years, then we actually have the funds to be able to implement these projects right away.
Ma'am, in terms of relief support, there's a massive support through the international community on this part. Now, for the rehabilitation and reconstruction, will the government seek assistance?
We have not yet decided on that point, but we have been talking with our multilateral agencies, the ADB, the World Bank, pledged support. It's still a different discussion altogether if we will go to that part where we will be borrowing. At the moment, we do not yet see the need, but we are keeping that option open.
And ma'am, with the President's commitment and leadership, can we do it looking at the huge amount of damage it has, the Typhoon Yolanda has created in these areas?
Actually, yes. It's really important to be able to build up the confidence again, especially of the people, and that's why we really want to get started with the reconstruction right away, so as to keep the community in Tacloban. Like I said, the good thing is since we've been growing very fast this past few quarters or so, And since we have also increased in terms of our rankings, in competitiveness, in governance, then you know, the confidence of the international community is also, I think, behind us.
Okay, on that note, thank you very much for joining us tonight here at NewsLive. That's Ms. Rosemarie Edillon, NEDA's Deputy Director of General for Planning. Thank you, ma'am.